Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 12 in our FTB Oceanblock modded Minecraft series. I took some time to get some XP from our XP gummy machine and got some extra levels and used it to unlock a bunch of trinkets. One that I thought was kind of funny I wanted to show you is the fire mine. And what it does is anytime an enemy targets me, they get set on fire. So all I have to do is have them think about me, and these slimes do not stand a chance. Let's see, here's a big one. Let's see if we can get it to set him on fire and we can see it. Just using my little telekinetic mind powers. Certainly makes things interesting. Anyway, today I'm going to be working on setting up refined storage over at our base. I just was clearing out some of these little rafts around the ocean around us so that I could get some extra trinkets and stuff, and I was just flying around using my jetpack to do it. But I will get everything set up so we can get started with refined storage, and we'll meet you back on the island. I'm back at the base and I've gotten a couple things processed ready to go for our refined storage. Before we get into it, I want to go through the quest book a little bit. We've done some more exploration, so we're going to take the rewards from that. Ooh, that's fancy. The only thing we have left to finish out the exploration chapter are the quests up here for the end and the nether. And we could do those now, but I'm not ready to do them quite yet. But that's not much left there. Getting started, we just have the last two sluices. Again, we're not quite ready to go in there yet. We can go through and finish out the storage upgrades for storage drawers, but we'll do that shortly too. But not today. Industrial foregoing, we finished a few more machines. Got our mob crusher, which gives us cursed earth, ironically, and a mob slaughter factory gives us some redstone clusters. Thermal, I'm going to leave these here until I start getting into thermal. Same with power, and mystical agriculture, same way. I'm going to wait until I start doing all the seeds, which will be soon. Miscellaneous, we finished up our fluid trash can and our regular trash can. And then we did the Cobble Gen 4 a while back, never took that reward. We've been using the upgrades here in our pipes. Let's see, what else do we got? In mini utilities, we just got Cursed Earth, so we just finished that one. And we already did Blurst Earth. We'll have to make some Blessed Earth just to finish the quest. Oops, Integrated Dynamics. I think this one also, I'm going to wait to take the reward until I get to it, because we're going to go through that chapter. So, what we're going to work on today, digital storage has two different mods. We have refined storage and we have applied energistics. I'm going to start with refined storage. Both of them are very similar mods. Applied Energistics is much more complicated, has a lot more steps and different processes you need to use. Refined Storage is a bit simpler, but they both do the same basic concept, which is storing items digitally. So we're going to go through and get Refined Storage completely set up. Later on in the pack, we will go into Applied Energistics to do some more fancy auto-crafting things, but the first step we need to make is a disk drive. So let's go through and do what we did the last time. Let me remove all these things. And make a list of what we need to make. So disk drive, we need to make some storage disks. Just going to put the one there for now. Probably go higher than 1K, but that's just to show what we need to do. Controller. We're going to need a grid. And I will go through and explain what all these things do after we come up with our list of things that we need to do. Crafting grid after that. We're definitely going to get into doing fluid grids because I'd like to do fluid storage. And then pattern grid is very important too. That is not the recipe I want. I want this one. That's okay. We mostly just wanted it to mark what we're doing. The wireless and other things like that, and the crafters and things like that, we'll get into after we get the basics set up. I don't know if that'll be this episode or not. So let's throw some of these things that we got as rewards into our general storage chest over here. Another material stonework factory. That's very nice. Common black hole tank. We have some of these processors we got before. Silicon we're going to be able to use today. Flux plugs and flux core. Let's leave the flux plugs in our inventory, so we might need it. Cursed earth can go in there. Add-ons can go in here for now. Singularity tank, and so the sticks we can put into. Oh, I don't know where they went. They're gone forever. We have a bunch of random things around here that we got from different places. So let me just put a few things away. We'll put an ender bag away. Put this in here and this in here. That can go away. Oh, we actually have two of these. Let's recycle these. Oh, I also turned our item recycler into an advanced item recycler because we had gotten a couple end rods, which is all we needed. I can't really tell much of a difference other than the fact that this will just keep running, which means we can probably pipe items into it, is what I'm thinking. Not something I'm really interested in doing right now. Okay. Well, then we got a matic. I can put that away. We have a seed that I want to put with our seeds, which is in this room still. And the redstone we can put away. Okay, so we want to set up a refined storage system. We're going to put it so that it is up in our tech area above, and then we want to run piping to connect it all the way to all of our storage drawer controllers so that we can access all of our inventories from one spot. So the first step we need to do that is to make a disk drive. To make the disk drive, we need to make some quartz enriched iron. Now I went and processed some quartz because I knew we were going to need to do this. So let's grab a stack of quartz and 3 stacks of iron. I actually grabbed 4, but that is okay. So we're going to do this. And it's going to give us 4 stacks of quartz enriched iron, which is good because we're going to need a lot of it today. So the disk drive requires machine casing. Is that just, I think that's just rocks. Go across the room. This is why we want to set up auto storage, because we don't want to have to be running all over the place to grab different things. I think it might just be cobblestone. Let's try it out. Oh, and it's actually diorite. I had one of those in here, so that's fine. Okay, so the next thing we need to do to make a disk drive is advanced processors. So advanced processors are made with this crafting recipe. So we have silicon, we have redstone, we have diamond. We need to make processor binding, so we need to get some string and some slime. So a couple stacks of string, stack of slime balls, and then it was redstone and diamond we were going to need too. So we'll grab a stack of each of those. So that is used to make, we'll just make a bunch of this because we're going to need it. Okay, so to make the processors, we need, oops, we need to make the raw ones, and I am going to make an entire stack of these. And then we need to cook that. So let's go up to our smeltery, up above, our smelting factory, I should say, right here. And we are going to put these in and let them process. Having this upgraded to such a fast speed is pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. Okay. So then the next thing we need to get is some wood, because we need to make a chest. Yeah. And then disk drive. So item number 1 is finished. Let's check out our controller. Controller also uses advanced processors. We need another machine casing. I think we can just use regular stone. Let's try that. If not, I have andesite, but I want to see if it's just stone. Sure it is. Let's make a few of these. Definitely going to need more of them later. So then, crafting grid, we need more silicon. So silicon is made by taking quartz and smelting it. This is also something we're going to need a good bit of, so I'm going to grab a few stacks. And then let's go over here. Go back up to our smelting factory since it's super fast. While that's finishing up, let's make our controller. Okay, so that's two of the big steps. A grid is going to require all of the cores. So we have a couple of improved processors, so we'll leave that for now. We need to make a construction core. So we need to make some basic processors, which is the same as what we did before, but now it's going to use iron. So that means I need to grab some more redstone. I think I have some with me. I do. Oh, I want the basic processors. So we want this recipe. Inventory is too full. We're going to need to grab the rest of the silicon. So for the grid, let's do this. And again, I'm going to do a whole stack because we will need them. Here they are. And then the next thing we need to make, we're going to need to get quartz for this one. We need glowstone for this one. And we need to grab some glass. I believe I still have some glass made up. Let's grab that. Yeah, 57. That'll do for now. Then we need to get quartz and glowstone. Quartz, I made up like 10 stacks total, so maybe a little more. So we'll be okay with that. Glowstone. Where did I make glowstone into? Here it is. We don't have a ton of it, but we have enough to get going here. So for the grid, let's just make one of each of these for now, because I'm not sure how many I'll need. And since our glowstone is a little bit limited, I don't want to go nuts. Okay, I'm gonna go into here, put a couple stacks of that away just so I have space to work with. And then we'll make our grid. So that's done with that. In order to make a crafting grid, we're going to need another grid. So make another one of these. We're going to make another one of these. And then we need a crafting table. Let's drop these for now. That's where the sticks went, by the way. Okay, so the grid, crafting grid. Oh, I actually need to make another grid. No, the crafting grid is what I want. I don't need a second grid. I could just use the one I had. That's good. So then the fluid grid will need another grid, though. And then to make it a fluid grid, we need an advanced processor and a bucket. Fluid grid. All right. Now, the only thing we have left to do are our disk drives. So disk drives work where you can make a disk drive by taking a storage part and surrounding it with a housing, or you can put it in a housing separately. The storage parts come in tiers. And with refined storage, all the size matters is that that's how much digital storage we're going to have. So a 1K storage part gives us 1,000 bytes of information to store items. 4K, 4 times as much. 16, 4 times as much as that. 64 is 4 times as much as that. And then since we have fluid, we have the same for fluid parts. And then we also have extra storage as an add-on for refined storage, so we can go even bigger with our storage parts. And then a storage terminal from integrated dynamics. Oh, that's not something for this. Okay. So we're going to start, if we look at this, they go up 4 times each time, and that's because each one is made with the one before it. So to make a 64, you need 3 16s. To make a 16, you need 3 of the 4K. To make a 4K, you need 3 of the 1Ks. So to make 4K, it's 3. To make this would be 9 of the 1Ks. To make this one would be 27 of the 1Ks. So what I would like to start with is making 27 of these. So to make more of these, we are missing redstone. We can grab a stack of redstone. That gets us to 17. To make more now, we're probably missing glass. So let's go over. Actually, what I want to do, I want to make a storage spot for our processor binding. So what we're going to do, let's put it right here. So we'll get rid of that one. What we need, let's put it in one of these. Just need one. I put the key in when I put it in. That means it locks it, and so nothing gets filtered in. And then now we'll put these here. That'll help with our inventory. We can put our key away. We can also put that away. So now we need more glass. Let's grab some sand. And we'll go smelt that up to make some glass. Okay, so now we got plenty of glass. We can make another 10 of these to get 27. So next step is to turn that into one of these. We have 9 of those. And we'll turn those into these. So now we run into our first shortage. We need more of our improved processors. So we need gold, redstone, silicon processor binding. So stack of gold, stack of redstone, stack of processor binding. There we go. Let's try that again. So this recipe uses this, and there we go. Well, what was I missing? Silicone? All right, so let's do... This is 17. I want to get another stack of this, another stack of this, another stack of this, and we'll do 2 more stacks of this. Now my inventory's full again. That's just fine. Go up and smelt some more silicon. Okay, so we got the silicon. Let's smelt up our raw improved processors to get improved processors. All right. So now we can craft the rest of these. Oh, out of redstone. Do I have some on me? I think I do. And then our last one is our 64K storage part. Now all we need to do is craft that into a housing. Which means we need a housing. And there we go. So we'll take this off of our list. And for now, let's set this up right here. So the way this works is we take our controller, put it like this, it's going to start receiving power. So now we have power. Then we're going to take our crafting grid, we'll put that here. Next to that, let's put our disk drive. Ooh, that's a weird lighting glitch. And then we will put our fluid grid in too. Don't like that. We'll have to figure out what's causing that lighting glitch. But now we have access to our crafting grid. And once we put a disk drive in here, now we have the ability to store items digitally inside of our crafting grid. That also means, let's pull out some of these ingots and things I've been hanging on to for crafting purposes. Because now I can craft them right inside the terminal. Let's do this and this. This can go in, this can go in. And you can see, if we look in here, that so far 1.8K of our 64K has been taken up. Just noticed something that is pretty amazing. Phantom spawned, and I was in the middle of crafting, so I was finishing it, figuring I'll deal with them after. Because of my fire mine, as soon as they targeted me, they caught on fire, and they died. They're gone, and now do not need to worry about phantoms. Okay, so the next thing that I made is I made external storages and I made cables. So I'm going to start with this one right here just to demonstrate how this works, and then I will do the rest of them off camera, hooking our external storages up. But so what they do is you put an external storage on the storage that you want to connect. we're going to set the priority. We're going to set by default priority on any external storage as 100, just to make our lives a little easier. And then you need to take a cable. We're going to run the cable up just like this. And we'll probably end up changing the way this goes later, but for now I just want to get it hooked up so we can see how it all works. Okay, let's see. So our storage is right over here. So we'll just run the cable back this way. And then we'll connect it over along the wall. Okay, so now it's connected to our grid as external storage. So when we look in here, we can see all the logs that are stored in our drawer controller are available for us for crafting in our grid. So we have 12.7 dark oak logs, spruce logs, jungle logs, all those things are available. They also are not taking up any storage in here because they're stored in the external storage. So I'm going to run a line from our system all the way to all of our storage drawer controllers. And then that way we will have all of our ores, all of our mob drops, and all of our cobbleworks available for us for crafting. We now have all of our storages connected to our grid. So all of our cobbleworks items, which are quite a bit and still growing, are stored in our grid. All of our ores, both the chunks that haven't been processed yet and the ones that already are processed, are stored in here. And what's really nice is for iron, for example, I can access them both as blocks and for ingots because they're stored in a compressed drawer. So the crafting recipe, if it calls for blocks of iron or for iron ingots, I don't need to craft them. I already have them. And then I have my wood, as I showed you before, and then my mob drops are in here. So everything is good. We can keep upgrading our storage so that we can store more and more of all these items. And anything we're going to be storing bulk, we can add to the storage drawers, and it won't take up any space in here. Next thing I want to do is make another crafting grid. And I'm going to do that in here so I can demonstrate how it is to craft in our crafting grid system here. So when we go to craft something, all we have to do is put it into the system. It gives us the items. We're going to put that there. We need to make a crafting grid. It will tell us what we don't have, and then we can craft that. And then we're able to put it in, and we're able to craft an item. So crafting a crafting grid there was much easier. Hitting X here will put everything back into our system. Also, anything we put into our system from our crafting grids will automatically go into the correct place. So when I just put that 16 cobblestone in, it stored it in this drawer holding cobblestone instead of in here where it would increase the storage disk drive. So like just to demonstrate that, we have 493,000. This says 1978. When we put this back in, this disk drive is still at 1978. It hasn't gotten any fuller. The reason I wanted a second crafting grid is because I wanted to have access to one down here in our lower part of our base. And in order to do that, I actually need a cable, and I forgot. Let me go grab one. In the future, we'll get set up with wireless grid access and things like that. But for now, I just want to have another grid down here. I'm going to put my crafting grid here. So now down here in our storage room, we can also access all of our items and do crafting down here. But that also means that I can break these two drawers or crates, and I can just throw all of these items into our storage system, and they will get stored right on our disk drive. So now, instead of having a separate place for random miscellaneous things that I don't have a spot for, I will just store them all inside of our storage system. And because I set the priorities higher on our storage drawers, any items that were in there that we didn't need, or that we already had space for on the storage drawers, didn't go into our disk drive. It went right into the storage drawers. And so now we can go back up and look at our grid, and we have stored just 5%, even though we've stored every item that we have basically inside of our crafting grids. And we can also set up crafting grids anywhere we need them to, as long as we have enough cable to get it there and power to run it. If we go and look at, last thing to look at for today, if we go up and look at our controller, we can see everything that is connected, and then we can see how much power we're using. We're only using 30 FE per tick, and as we recall earlier, this system can provide us up to 2000 FE per tick. So we're pretty well set on power. As we expand our crafting grid system, that's going to become less and less true, but we can also see here that this is staying nice and full. Oh, this is supposed to be on this side filling up. But we're definitely not having any power issues today. So that's going to be all we're going to do with refined storage for today. Kind of buzzed through it, but it was just the basic setups. In the future, we will set up a wireless crafting grid so we can craft from anywhere on the island, and we will also set up on doing some of our auto crafting. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.